Am I solo?
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little bit new to this side of the interview when it comes to this program, StreamYard. But let me get everybody on here.
Hey, there's the foursome.
Look
There
at
you
that.
are, all four of y'all. Hey, Matt. Hey, Steve. This is Ron Garbick with Automotive Architect Sales Podcast, and I just want to thank all of y'all for being on here today. We've got some great guests. As you see, we got Denny Eubank, Matthew Case Beer, and the live wood drive guy, Steve Roessler. And Matt and Denny, you're with the Capital Auto Group in Salem, Oregon. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Excellent. And everybody knows the guy with the poofy hair, Mr. Steve.
Go ahead, Matthew. Say what you guys call me.
Peacock!
They call me Peacock around. They call me Peacock.
Now, Steve and I met back in 2017 up in Philadelphia, so we've known each other for quite a while. And man, it's an honor to have Steve on the show. And when he asked me, "Hey, can I invite two other guests?" I was like, "Absolutely!" And I'm honored to have you two on this show with me. And first of all, Steve, I want to say congratulations on winning the Driving Sales Most Valuable Insight Award. Man, that's got to be a pretty cool award for you and the whole group. So congratulations.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was, like I said, working and highlighting, and that's why we're all here, is really highlighting, a store of where, the mindset and the technology has really improved over the years. And, we go out there as a CRM company, try to help promote change. It's really good and refreshing when people go out there and truly implement it. So without Matthew and Denny here leading the ship, the study wouldn't have been as successful as it was. So I want to give it's us maybe promoting it, but it's really the guys behind the scenes that are pushing it forward. So yeah, it's really great to have their support to go through and actually prove the study of what's actually happened at their dealership.
Well, it's a great accomplishment and a great award, and congratulations on that.
Wow.
Guys, Matt, you're the general manager of the auto group, is that correct?
So I'm a fourth generation owner, actually. My dad is still around and still very active in the stores, but my brother and I are fourth generation. Just kind of started taking over for him. So we've got three franchises, three rooftops, Chevrolet, Cadillac, Toyota, and Subaru. And I'm general manager of a couple stores, dealer of a couple of stores. My brother and I sort of share duties and all that stuff.
And Denny, what is your role at the dealership?
I am the BDC sales / internet manager. I am not the other brother.
You're not the other brother, okay. Well, good.
Yeah.
So basically, I've seen the case study that Steve had on your guys' store, and great accomplishment from all y'all. And tell me about do you believe that the BDC is the heart of the dealership, and when the leads spread out, that's like blood flowing to the sales department? How important do you think the BDC is? And do you get buy-in from the rest of the other departments that they realize the BDC is essential to the dealership?
Well, I'll start, and then Denny, you can follow up. But so we've had a BDC for 22 years. My dad was the one that decided he didn't want to rely on salespeople to make those follow-up calls 22 years ago. So we started it a long time ago, and we've stuck with it. We've never gone away from it. We go to 20 groups, and we see those expenses that show up, and we get a lot of flack from other dealers that maybe don't have the same belief that we do in BDC departments. And we just sort of shrug and say, hey, that's the way we operate. And I'm fine paying all that money out because I see the benefit of all the customers that come in and the leads getting handled and the phone pops and feedbacks, and everything that they do is just vital to our business. And especially in a time like this, when we were able to have them working from home or doing whatever they can just to get customers in the door. We've had some incredible months, and we wouldn't have done it without them. So we are firm believers in a business development center.
Yeah, I concur. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't like to be in a position
Now,
so it's a good thing. Go ahead, Ron.
so I came from a BDC. You know, when I started in the car business, it was basically, hey, you're going to be the new internet manager, and I didn't even sold the car yet. You know, so I was basically a salesperson with a title that says manager on it. So gradually, what I was trying to learn was, I knew I was lazy and I didn't want to go and chase everybody on the lot and you know, the customer seeing us in their rearview mirror going, hey, check this out. This guy's going to keep following me till I drive off. So I started to understand if I wanted to sell more cars that I needed to be the master on the phone. I needed to know what to say on the phone. So believe it or not, I sold more cars and closed more deals on the phone. So when the customer showed up to the dealership, they just walked right straight into the finance department after taking a test drive, making sure that's the car that they want. So I always got in trouble by the general manager for not making more phone calls than I should have, but I was selling more cars. Is that something that you go through every day, Denny, with your BDC agents, that they're setting more appointments, but they're not making more contacts?
Honestly, no, not now. It used to be the case like that. Now we're completely focused on contact. The activity level is what it is. People like to work at their own pace, and it's the way Drive Centric allows us to do that. I don't harp on people about phone calls, emails, text messages, videos. I get on them about total activity. And as long as their total activity is up there and the numbers are being produced, that's kind of how we like to look at it. If somebody doesn't need a phone call, why are we calling? If they don't email, why are we emailing them? So we try to contour to what the customer wants to do. And if their preferred method of contact is email, we'll email. If it's text, we'll text. If it's call, it's a call. But we don't structure our reps' days saying you have to do this and you have to do this. The only thing they have to do is set appointments to get salespeople some car deals. That's the thing they have to do.
Yeah.
When I was in the BDC, I got brought in to. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, Ron, I don't know. There's a little bit of a delay on your side, maybe. But no, what I was going to say is I don't know how long it was that you were in the BDC, but since the consumer is really changing a lot of the communication, that's what we really wanted to point out is I think a lot of BDCs go out there, and what Denny and Matthew can attest to is the style they had back in late 2018 was 100 phone calls and 50 emails. The point of the study was change the mentality of the BDC department to be more effective with the communication channel of the customer. And that's where I think the study proved out to be so well is, again, literally listen to what Denny just said, is communicate on the customer's terms, not so much your terms, which the traditional way, Ron, I don't know how long ago it was, but I mean, again, that 100 phone calls and 50 emails is kind of dead. I mean, if you're still doing that today, that's where the mentality's got to change. And the study proves that model to be different.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you've got to have a system that allows you to do it. I mean, that was part of the reason that we were able to change so much. And, I know this isn't intended to be a sales pitch for Drive, but I mean, the reality is that really enabled us to change the way we did business because it's all in one place. You don't have to click a bunch of times to send a video or copy and paste or do a YouTube link or figure out how to text. And I mean, it's just all right there. So our agents can do whatever they need to do to get in touch with the customer. It's really easy.
Yeah, it allows our reps to do things that fit their style. Not everybody works the same style, but if you're productive, why are we to tell you what's the right style? Let's find the right style for each person, make each person as successful as they can be, and let the numbers flow. If we're dictating someone to make 100 phone calls a day, but this person's an amazing emailer or great with videos. We're not utilizing their talent and we're missing the boat.
Yep.
And see, that was my issue when I got into the BDC, because the dealership that I was working at before, we had a BDC department, but they were 6 hours away. So when they were making phone calls, supposedly making phone calls, setting appointments, I was always the kind of person that I wanted to confirm the appointment so I can plan out my day. So I would call the customer the night before, hey, just wanted to let you know that I see that I have a 2:30 appointment with you. I just wanted to confirm it. If anything happens to change, would you please let me know? And vice versa. If I'm a little busy, I want to give you a call and let you know I'm going to be 20 minutes longer with this next customer. And they would say, what are you talking about? I told that girl that I wasn't going to be coming in today. I'm not interested in the car anymore. So gradually moving to the Volkswagen store, when I got asked to take over the BDC department, I was hesitant. I was like, I really don't want to become a BDC manager, because I knew the problems we had at the previous store. And the general manager's like, just do it the way you want it done, and we'll go from there. Well, I was always preached phone calls, phone calls, phone calls. If you make 200 phone calls, you connect with 28 people, you set 7 appointments, 4 will show and 2 will be sold. So I gradually had to learn it's not about the phone calls, it's not about the emails, text messages, it's about the connecting with the customer and selling the appointment, instead of trying to rack up all these numbers, because you get voicemail, opt out on emails, opt out on text messages and whatnot. So I had to learn the hard way. And Steve and I had this conversation in Philadelphia. He was like, Bud, man, what are you doing? You're a slave driver. Slow down. It's about connecting. And so I brought that back to the dealership. And right now, the BDC director that we have, she's doing phenomenal numbers with her team, due to the fact it's not about how many phone calls, text message, emails. It's about how many appointments that are sold or set and that actually show.
Yeah, I think that the BDC needs to be, instead of, it needs to change from the business development center to business development contact. Because the business development center, even when you're advertising that as a job, people think it's a call center still. And if you're running a call center, you're not running a BDC. And that's just what how I feel about it. It's about contact and people having certain skills, not just phone junkies who are going to call, cold call. We have, I'd say, less than 5% of what we do is cold calling. So it's about contact, not call center.
And one of the things that you said, it was a business development contact center. I always say the BDC is the big dollar center. That's where the money's coming from, because the up bus is not coming anymore. So the majority of the time, customers are going to look online, look at a vehicle. They want to look around. They're going to submit a lead because they're interested in that vehicle specifically. And you have a short amount of time to make contact with that customer before they move on and look at another dealership. So it's very highly important. And I'm glad that I got the opportunity to work in an internet department, so I can understand that going forward in my career in the automotive industry, how important the BDC department is. Now, let me ask you this, Denny. I've seen that your numbers here. I mean, in May, you did 1,381 appointments. Congratulations. That's a great accomplishment. 1091 showed, and you sold 525 deliveries. Those numbers are strong. So congratulations on that and your team. So hats off to y'all. And, they always say there's a secret sauce. You got to do all this. What makes you guys so strong when it comes to this, to these numbers that you have here in this case study?
So I would attribute it to empowering the employees. Our BDC, from what I've seen from other BDCs, have a ton more access than what most BDCs have. Ours has access to anything a desk manager has access to. We can price cars. We can give trade evaluations. We can do just about anything. So that's huge. When you empower a person to structure their own day and how they go about it, and you're only worried about results, I think it's a lot better mentally for a BDC rep to be able to do that than to be told all day long, this is what you need to do. Giving them the empowerment to structure their own day, handle their own deals, and make the right calls themselves is what it is. And obviously there was a ton of mistakes along the way getting to this point, but getting the right people and getting them in the spots to do this, and everybody having the learning curve, that's what it's about. If your BDC is not empowered from ownership down, it's going to fail. And ours is empowered by ownership down. So they feel that, they know it, they know they're respected, they're proud of their jobs, and they want to do a good job instead of just work hard for a paycheck.
Yeah, I'd like to actually interject here, Ron, and just for everybody that's listening, I think one of the key things for the question I asked Matthew is Matthew obviously took a leap of faith and believing about this whole engagement strategy and contact rate, and I know that a lot of people just don't know, how do you implement this? We could always talk about all the different ways, processes. At the end of the day, what I get asked all the time, and Matthew, I want to just throw it out there to you, is how do you get your team on board, whether it's like texting in the CRM or shooting videos the way you guys are shooting videos? Because I mean, Ron, just so you know, and again, you saw it in the study, these guys never shot video. They weren't really texting in their CRM. And again, to go from one to another, and just to get that mentality of stores doing it, I mean, I just always want to have Matthew share how they got their team bought in to do it.
Well, for Denny kind of alluded to it, but for us, it was a slow burn, honestly, to get there. We built new stores almost 10 years ago, and when we moved to these new facilities, we absolutely changed our culture 180 degrees and changed it to be customer driven. Lateral support is a huge part of that, and innovation is in our vision statement. Like, that word innovation is in there, and we talk about it all the time. So when we looked at changing and getting away from our previous CRM and going to a new one, part of that, fortunately for us, we have a management team who really wants to innovate and wants to be better and figure out how we can win every single day, and knows that part of that comes with the CRM, and BDC is all tied up in that. So they were all willing, our managers were all willing to make whatever change was necessary just to get us in front of more customers. And we knew technology was the way to do that. Fortunately, that for us switch. So with me visiting the offices with Denny and his boss last year, and really seeing how they operate, being able to come back to the dealership, explain that to our management staff, and then they get all excited, and they explain it to the salespeople, they get excited. Denny and Brian, his boss, they were already excited, so they were already pumping it up. So when we flipped that switch, it was, it took a little while for everybody to get used to staring like we are now, which has become the culture in the last 90 days. But that took a while for everybody to get used to talking to other customers through video and realizing that, hey, people really do respond to text messages because they don't want that, little number sign on their phone showing how many unread text messages they have. So it didn't take long for people to figure out that it actually does work. And it works really well, as you can see from the numbers that Denny and his team have put up. But the buy-in, it starts from, that's not just the work for us every single day. And they were ready for it. They're ready for a change.
Yeah.
So let me ask you,
I want to add a little bit to that too, because in the beginning, there wasn't a full buy-in, and it does start from the top. And part of that being is part of my responsibility is making sure the people that are put in front of sales are quality people. You alluded to that, Ron, in the very beginning. If you get a whole bunch of appointments coming in that aren't sales opportunities, or you get a whole bunch of cancellations from BDC just trying to set appointments to make $1, that's when you get that disconnect. As long as your appointments are quality and BDC's talking with the desk and sales and everybody's on the same page and you really are living that one team, one dream culture, that's when the buy-in happens for everybody and everybody can be successful. And it can be done with most systems. This one just makes it a lot easier for the communication and everybody loves it.
You know, with the COVID crisis that was going on these past couple of months, I couldn't strongly express how important the BDC was going to be with digital retailing and doing everything online from start to finish, even with the e-sign signatures and sending everything out to the customers to make it more comfortable with them. Now, are you guys doing any kind of digital retailing start finish where I want to buy this car online and I want to go through the whole process? Do you guys do something like that over there?
We do.
We have it all. We have it all available. I'll say that. And Denny, you can follow up. But we have all that available on all of our websites for all the stores, and we are fully willing and able to, take vehicles to people's houses and do paperwork remotely and whatever we need to do. But for whatever reason, we haven't seen a lot of that. A lot of times people get to a certain point in the process and they want to come in. So we actually have done all of our deliveries, at least that I'm aware of. Denny, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they've all happened in the store.
Yeah, we've had, we can in our BDC take it cradle to grave and we can go the whole way. But it's not something we really shoot for. If the customer wants to go that route, we will. We've had maybe 1 or 2 deliveries at home. But what we do in our BDC is really try to sell our store as a destination. And if you can do that and not just make it a car sale, then like Matthew said, people do want to come in to buy a car. There are the people that are the exceptions, but that's been a focus of mine since COVID started, is our store needs to be a destination, not just a place to buy cars. People want to get out of their houses. So we made sure it was very clear to people that we're safe, we're clean, the distancing's happening, the masks are on. Get out of your house, come somewhere safe, and drive away in a new car. And that's just the message I sent to BDC to send out to the customers. And it worked really strong for the last couple of months, as you can see from our numbers.
Talk about when it comes to the BDC department and how their pay structure is. I know where I'm at, they get paid for appointment show, appointment sold, and our BDC agents are also our delivery specialists, so they have a lot of product knowledge in our vehicles. So when they make that delivery and they go through the final walk around and preset the radio station, show them all the options and whatnot, do you have a similar kind of pay plan that goes along with that also?
Yeah, it's similar up to a point. Our BDC reps are basically virtual. They don't see a customer unless a customer absolutely requests it. They're upstairs all day long. But yeah, they get paid for the show, and then they get paid for the sold, and then that's tier leveled at however many shows they have and however many solds they get. So we incentivize more work. It's not just a flat, you get this. So we pay a certain amount for up to 120 shows, and then another amount for over 120 shows, and then another amount for over 140 shows, and the same thing with solds. There's tier levels to bonus those to keep people going and not be satisfied with their month.
I know one thing with the BDC department, I have a couple of agents that will leave their chair and go and ask the desk manager or go and ask the salesperson, hey, did this customer show up? Did anybody follow up with this customer? Because it's highly important that I know, because I'm three appointments away from a bonus. Does your guys do that, or like you said, they just stay up there in the tower?
They go down when needed, but it's never for those reasons. We utilize text message and chats and things like that to talk with people. If they got to go downstairs, it's because they need specific deal answers on something. They're never down there asking if this person showed. I would rather have them call the customer and ask the customer how their visit was, and have them say I wasn't there, or it was good, or it was bad, instead of going to the salesperson. But our salespeople are pretty good about leaving notes when people are checked in. And Matthew set this up when we were at Drive, and it worked really well, that our desk managers are the ones that check people out of the store. So we got a pretty good idea of what happened when that checkout happens.
Mm-hmm. So you get the buy-in from the desk manager on your CRM that they showed up, they're in the showroom right now, They're doing a demo. They have a trade in, and when the vehicle gets sold, they put in the notes, or they have a little box that they click that says that they actually sold and they took delivery.
Yeah, our sales guys don't even have the ability to check a person out of the store. It has to come from management, so that way we know they went through the proper steps before checked out.
See, those numbers are so important throughout the whole store. And, it's not just for the BDC's purposes, but also for the desk managers and for the GM. So when you're looking at the reports, you can see how many people showed and left, and why was the reason that they left. And for a while there, we were having problems having the desk managers put in the notes why the customer left. If it's too much negative equity, their credit's not very good, they have to go get a down payment, or we didn't have the right vehicle for them. So, it's all the information that you put into the BDC CRM. It feeds that information to the BDC agents to follow up with the customer to see, hey, what can we do to get you back into the store? Or do you have a co-signer or whatnot? Because we know in all reality, the salesmen are not going to follow up with the customer. They got a one-track mind, and that's to sell cars. Matt, what do you guys do to emphasize to the salespeople, this is important? You got to put notes in the system. Desk managers, you got to put notes in the system. If you took a TO,
let's be honest. It's constant reminders. Even just last night at about 8 o'clock, and we had customers, and definitely were actually in the store. There were only 5 that were older, but I sent a text to our desk going, guys, come on, we got to check people out as they're leaving the store, whether they purchased or they didn't, because tomorrow when BDC gets here, they need ammunition on what they're going to be able to either text or call or video these customers. You got to do it. And then just about 10 minutes before we got on this call, I was down talking to our Toyota sales desk, and even the guy that I was texting last night, he said, I totally get it, because it's really beneficial for me to go back and look through all the customers, even if I didn't desk that particular deal or have any involvement, because I get a better idea of what happened during the day. And, they need to get better at it, and they're going to always need that reminder. But again, that comes from Denny constantly, and it comes from me constantly. It comes from our variable sales director constantly. We're always talking about it. So we're by no means are we perfect, but we're always at least getting it in front of them. So they know the importance, because we preach BDC all the time. Every week we talk about the number of weekend appointments, shows, and sales just out of BDC. We talk about all the internet leads that have come in, closing ratios, contact rates. And it's a constant source of focus for us. So they know that it's not going anywhere, and you need to do what you need to do to help them, make us all better. That's the point.
One other thing, when I came into the BDC department, one of the biggest things that I wanted to do was, I knew how busy we were getting at the desk with the showroom visits, and we had that one customer that was like, I want numbers right now. I want to know what my interest rate is, what my payment's going to be, what you're giving me for my trade. So I'm setting my credit up right now. So I started, and I asked the general manager, can I be able to desk deals from the BDC department? And he said, absolutely. Is that something that you do, Denny, in your department, is desk deals also?
Well, that's what's the good thing about the system that we have now, is it allows me the ability to mock deals. I don't necessarily desk a deal and hand it to F&I, but I can deal and send it to a customer and be like, if all the information you're telling me is correct, this is about where you're going to be. But no, we don't completely desk the deal upstairs, just mock deals.
Okay. Guys, you know, it's getting to the 30-minute mark. I know you guys are really busy today. I want to thank you for being on the show. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to do some closing remarks and whatnot. And it's an honor to talk to all three of you. Steve, you're a great guy all the way around. I really appreciate you connecting me with Matthew and Denny. Denny, I'm going to start with you. Any closing remarks, comments, anything that we can learn from you?
I would just say the buy-in from ownership down, and your BDC will be successful. If you don't have that, it's going to be a struggle. Get everybody on board and keep consistency. Don't give up on it. It can't be the 2-week wave where we do it for 2 weeks, we don't do it for 2 weeks, we do it for 2 weeks. You got to stay consistent, and if you do that, your BDC will be successful.
Thank you. Hey, Matthew, what about you, buddy?
Well, thanks for having us, first of all. Really appreciate the opportunity to chat for a little bit. And, you know, the only thing I would leave you with is just the people part of it. I mean, my dad, for years, you know, as he's been the dealer for over 30 years, and his whole thing was, it doesn't matter that we're selling cars. We could be selling pickles. Big deal. It's all about the people you have in the store and, you know, making them feel like they number one, and that is absolutely our and without a great team, that doesn't get you anywhere. So we've taken our time to weed out the people that don't believe in what we're doing, and you know, they needed to leave the organization, and that's fine because we're better for it. And we have a great team now, and Denny is absolutely one of them that believes in the culture, believes in the process, and just believes that we really can be the best, and that's exactly what we want to be. People first. I mean, that's everything.
And one thing, Matthew, so is there pickles somewhere? I'm just curious because I didn't.
Yeah.
I need to know that. All right.
You haven't found the pickle cabinet yet?
No, I feel like I'm in the dark here. What's going on?
And last but not least, the live with Drive guy.
That's
Steve,
right. There you go.
comments?
Live with Drive, baby. No, hey, I just want to say thanks again for Ron for you know, allowing us to get on there and share a successful dealership on, you know, really changing the culture of the dealership. You know, I go out there. I came from the medical industry, and the way I typically sold anything in medical was a case study. So I just appreciate, you know, Matthew and allowing me to work with the stores to really track this. I mean, this has been, you know, pretty much an 18-month project to be able to go in there and see, you know, track the communication channels of what they did before and how communication engagement has really affected the dealership. And we just got to change, you know, the way the customers are changing and their buying behaviors, et cetera. So I'm just really thankful that, you know, we actually have a study behind us now, and we can promote this out there for other dealerships to hopefully follow suit. So thanks again for sharing this, Ron. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Ron.
Thanks, Ron.
Pleasure's all mine, guys. And anything that I could do for you guys, just please let me know. And Steve, once again, you're a great person. I always enjoy talking to you. Denny, it was a pleasure. And Matthew also. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Same. Thank you.